Hi, hello there. This is Matt from The Digital Spy, and I'm joined by Tom Mansell.
Hi.
Hi, Tom. And we're here to discuss the big Destiny update that has just happened, version 1.1.2, as well as what's going to happen in the future with House of Wolves and other little secrets that have been revealed very recently. So let's get started with the update, which has had a bunch of big and little things. I suppose the first big one is the vault capacity has increased quite significantly.
Yeah, and I think this is one that's really going to appeal to those high-level players that have literally collected everything that they want and are kind of thinking towards the future, the new updates, the new exotics, the new legendaries that are going to be available. And so I think this is a feature that people wanted for a long time, but for most people, I think, the vault space was not a massive issue.
It's like 24 armor slots, 36 weapon slots. I've got nowhere near that. Maybe Destiny 3, I'll get close to, get into that kind of cap. But yeah, it's nice to have that and future-proof it. Another feature which, I don't know, I thought it was a bit of a weird one, but like helmets. You can now wear helmets in the tower. Social space, which I don't know, like it's the only place in the game where you'd not wear a helmet. So like, why would you choose to? It's weird.
But exactly. I mean, you can almost wonder what the point of having a face in Destiny is, seeing as that now you don't even have to show it in the tower.
Yeah, definitely. It's worth discussing some of the little changes to the tower as well. So something that Destiny didn't discuss that players have found is that there's actually a jukebox in the kind of the lounge area of the tower which plays different music.
Great for Paul McCartney fans that want to listen to that tragic Destiny song that he made.
Absolutely. And now also the infamous balls that you can kind of kick around in the arena. There's one that's now a purple ball that's had a bit of a makeover, which is quite nice.
It's surprising how in a game where players have plunged hundreds of hours into it, that a lighting up ball can cause bedlam in the tower.
But the good thing is they've actually added like some real kind of like good, meaningful features alongside it. So like in the menus, you've now got various different options. Like there's great expanded things for accessibility. So colorblind players have different options available. Audio controls, you can slide up different kind of the sound and the music. Through to things like on the actual menu screens, when you're viewing weapons and your character, you can now press L1 and it will remove kind of the user interface, so you can just have a clean screenshot of things if you choose to.
Which is nice, but you still can't, interact with that screenshot. You still can't rotate or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully they'll kind of like make little tweaks based on user feedback. They've usually been reasonably good at kind of listening to players where possible.
Yeah, that's the good thing about it, and that's kind of what's happened with the lock feature as well, where lots of horror stories have been heard of people accidentally deleting some of their weapons. So now we've got a lock function to prevent that from happening. And
it's a thing that works on any item, and it works in the vault. So yeah, there's loads of like bug changes and little tweaks across the board, like too many to really mention. But one of the kind of the big ones is that Mars has been nerfed, it seems, quite significantly.
Yeah, I think this is something that most people will be pretty happy with. So the boss in the Cerberus Bay 3 strike is now much less of a bullet sponge, although I'm sure he can still take quite a lot of punishment. There's also reduced mages on that strike, as well as on the Scion Flayers strike, whom also have had their shields taken down a notch, because I think it wasn't necessarily a hard strike, but it was definitely one that was a bit of a pain in the backside.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, for me, like when I think of Mars, it's probably my least favourite planet to play on, regardless whether it's PvP or kind of
Yeah, I think that is a fairly common experience, and certainly the PvP maps on Blind Watch and Firebase Delphi, two of the Mars maps have also been adjusted for Control and Iron Banner to make sure that they don't pop up quite as much as they were.
So also recently, Bungie has formally announced the next expansion for Destiny, which is House of Wolves, which is available May 19th. And they've released like a shiny cinematic trailer and a few little bit details here and there. So it will have like a strikes, free story missions. There's 2 new social areas that players have found. One called Queen's Bay on the Reef, I assume, is presumably where you get your bounties, as well as like the halls of Amatet. I believe that's how you say that, which I assume is then going to open up when you do certain PvP style areas. So that's kind of neat.
I mean, I think the tower has been a nice idea, but hasn't proven to be the social engagement space that Bungie might have intended it to be. So it'll be interesting to see if these new reef spaces can help more organic matchmaking and for PvP and some of the well, not the raid obviously, but some of the cooperative elements. So
instead of the raid, there's now going to be kind of an arena, which they've kind of talked about in loose terms, which I believe is going to be called Prison of the Elders. But what do you think about that change?
I think it's interesting that they've used the word arena, which definitely gives a certain impression of like a wave-based horde mode, doesn't it? To be honest, that doesn't really kind of whet my appetite especially. I don't think it's necessarily something that Destiny is really crying out for.
Yeah, definitely. I think the raids are, arguably the best thing in the game, but at the same time, I've only done them a handful of times, and it's partly because I've struggled to actually get a group together. Hopefully this might be a bit more of an accessible mode for more players to jump into as they can. And for me, at least, that might be a much better thing.
I'm looking forward to just anything new. I'm definitely in the anything new category of Destiny players, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, most certainly. So yeah, thanks Tom, and cheers for listening to us latter on about Destiny for a little bit. If you enjoyed what we said, then give this video a like. Tell us what you think about the new Destiny update in the comments, and if you want to see more from Digital Spy Gaming, then give us a subscribe.